thanks for joining us today. This is the ProSites Dental Marketing Podcast, where we are going to be answering some of your most urgent dental marketing questions that we get every week. So I'm here with Cheryl Pederzoli. She's one of the marketing experts here on the ProSites team. I'm also a marketing expert here on the ProSites team. And so today we're actually going to be talking about online reviews, everything online reviews, including Yelp. Yelp is awesome. So let's start with the first question that we usually get. Let's see, Cheryl. So one of the questions that we typically get is, how can I get more good reviews / patient word of mouth referrals?
Yeah, great question. And everybody wants more reviews. So first thing you always have to do is make sure you have listings on all the sites. So if you haven't claimed your listing, make sure you go out and claim it. Google, Yelp, Facebook, those are the big ones that we see people using. And then there's a whole bunch of other ones also. So claim your listing, make sure you have current contact information on it. Then you want to link to those sites from your website. So if somebody's out there looking at you, they see that you are active and you actually participate in Yelp, they follow the link, they go there, they put out a review. You want to make sure that when you do have reviews out there, you respond to those reviews so that people see them, see that you're engaged, and they're more apt to leave them because they know that you're actually reading them. We also recommend you do little things like put up a sign in your office that says, find us on Yelp, or find us on Facebook, or whatever your preferred method is. If you send out emails to your patients, maybe you have a follow-up after an appointment email, or just, here's what's up in the office, use a link in that to send people off to the review sites. And then in some cases, a lot of people are using reputation marketing services now. And those are services that'll help you get reviews, monitor the reviews, and make sure that you're addressing them and staying on top of it. Any other suggestions, Fanny, on how to get more reviews?
No, I think you covered it. Email, signage in offices, website, of course. I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Okay, so then what should dentists do if they see a bad review?
Yeah, that's a tough question. And I actually have talked to dentists who don't look at the review sites because they're so afraid they're going to see a bad review. It's really sad. And I'm like, no, you got to check. You got to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is, if you see a bad review, read it and then just step back for a few minutes. So make sure that you don't get angry about it, that you let yourself process it a little bit before you actually react to it. If it has a legitimate concern, if the person says something that really is, legitimate concern from your office, you want to reply back to them and you want to, thank you for bringing this to attention. I would like to address this. Can you contact me offline? Some of those conversations, is better just to pull it off and talk to somebody one-on-one, whether it's a phone call, whether they email you, direct message you, whatever it is. Another thing you can look at is if it's something that's just somebody ranting on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cases you can't really address it because all it's going to do is go back and forth and back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So what I recommend is just a nice, simple, I'm sorry you felt that way, something very simple. And acknowledging that, yes, you've read it, but not getting into a back and forth, nothing that they're going to come back at you. And then sometimes it's just something really simple. And, they put out that bad review in the heat of the moment. You've talked to them separately already. Go back and just add another little comment that says, hey, I'm so glad we were able to resolve this. And if you have anything else, please let us know. So you do see the bad reviews. It's definitely something that you take personally. It's hard to read those. It's hard to look at those and say, oh, I can't believe somebody said that publicly and wouldn't say it to my face. The other thing you want to do is just make sure there's no reason for people to post a bad review. So before everybody leaves your office, ask them, any issues today, any concerns that didn't get addressed? Is there anything I can, answer, any questions for you? That can be something that the receptionist does as they kind of check you out. So it's not necessarily the person who saw, so they're a little bit more comfortable sharing any concerns that way. But just make sure nobody leaves your office angry or upset, and then there's no reason for them to be putting out a bad review.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think another thing that you could do is leverage, and to prevent bad reviews, is you could leverage email a little bit and ask for feedback directly through email. And then that way you can get, if someone does respond with any concerns, you can address their concerns then and there, and it's not in a public forum. So,
Yep.
I know that some dentists do that, but definitely leveraging office staff beforehand, I think that helps a lot.
Yep.
Okay, so on the flip side, though, if you do have a bad review, the next question usually is, can you remove the review if people have been, if they've left something on Yelp or Google?
So the answer is a maybe. Usually you can't get reviews removed, but what you can do is if the review actually violates the policy. So there are cases where all of these different sites have policies of what you can post, what you can't post. And there are times when you look and you know that there's something fishy going on. You can actually flag the reviews on
Hmm.
almost every case. On Yelp, I think you have to be logged in order to flag a review. On Google, I think pretty much anybody can do it. But you hover over the reviews, little flags pop up. You click on that. It's going to bring up another screen where you can tell them that what the flag is for, and you can submit that. So Yelp has it, Google has it. It's one thing to watch for. You can't get reviews taken down, but you can at least address them if there's something that it'll violate a policy. On the flip side, though, if you do have some bad reviews, if you can get more good reviews, it's going to help to offset it. So
Hmm.
instead of having, 3 stars because you have a bad review and only 2 good reviews, if you can get yourself 6 good reviews on top of that, all of a sudden your 3 stars is going to start to look like 4.5 stars. So make sure you just get more good reviews and it'll help to offset those bad reviews. That's another important thing to look at when you have those negative ones that you're afraid of.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention that having like a perfect 5-star rating is a little fishy too, because then people can kind of pick up on that and it's like, okay, this office is obviously asking for reviews. So if you can offset those bad reviews and improve your overall ranking, that's just going to make you look more legitimate because not everybody is going to be happy with you, and that's okay. People are perfectly capable of reading the review and they can tell if it's just a rant,
Mm-hmm.
or if it's not really justified. So, yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind.
Yep.
Okay, speaking of review sites, you've mentioned Yelp, you've mentioned Google. Is there anything else that you would recommend people keep track of?
Yep, definitely Google, Yelp, Facebook. Those are the big ones, and those ones show up in search results. So if you were to actually
Mm.
search your practice name, in addition to seeing your own website, hopefully, which will come up, you'll also see those reviews, and you'll see the stars right in there. People don't even have to click to see the review site stars. It'll show up right in the search. So it's important to make sure you're on those ones, if nothing else. The other ones that we would recommend, Angie's List. And that one's sometimes a little bit more regional because you have to pay a fee in order to get in and see the reviews. It's not for everybody, but it definitely, the people who use Angie's List are very passionate about going out and seeing those reviews. So it's a good case if it's an area where it's big to make sure you're there. Vitals, RateMDs, Health Vault. There's an assortment of different ones that are healthcare related where people are looking for doctor reviews. Insurance companies, if you work with any insurance companies that have reviews on their site, a lot of cases there's not a lot of people going in there, but it is powerful if somebody's looking for somebody who uses that insurance. So that's one thing to look for. You want to be careful about any sites that are just don't have a lot of reviews showing up, very few reviews. Maybe they're a very localized site, so they don't get a lot of normal traffic. You also want to stay away from anything where you have to pay in order to participate.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be a site where you're going to get a lot of people coming anyways, so it's just not worth your time. And then if people have to register in order to see reviews, you're less likely to get the visibility there. It's not going to show up in any of the search engine results. So if somebody has to register in order to see the reviews, that's another one to just kind of watch out for.
Yeah, yeah, I think those are pretty good, the ones that you mentioned. Okay, so let's say that a dental practice has all these reviews, they have all these great reviews. Now they want to flaunt it, right? If you
Yep.
spent the time to collect all of these reviews and had your office staff sort of mitigate any bad reviews, what else can you do with those reviews to flaunt them?
Yeah, lots of great things. So put them up on your website. obviously. Everything's digital. If you have areas on your website where you can show testimonials, you can actually take those reviews and kind of present them as a testimonial flipping through. Within your office, I've seen people actually take them in and print them off and kind of put them up on the wall. So it's kind of like, what our patients say about us type of thing. If you have brochures that you hand out, you can put them into the brochures also. Like I said, present them as testimonials. Same thing for ads. If you're doing print ads in the newspaper, people like seeing what other people say about you. It gives them a little bit of a trust. So it's another place that you can utilize them. Google's got this great tool, and we'll link to it in the comments or the description here, where you can actually take somebody's Google review and turn it into a PDF that then you can go and print off and you can share. So that's another cool thing to do, another way to just make sure everybody knows that, hey, people are saying great things about me. It helps to build the trust. If a new patient is looking for a dentist, that's one of the few ways they can get a feel for if you're a good one, if you're a bad one, what people think about you. So definitely share it as much as you can.
Yeah, creates trustworthiness, like you said. And one more thing about that Google tool, you can create a PDF, but you can also share those reviews onto your social media pages. So it can be twofold. It can be printed and it can also be online. So
Great.
Leverage it if you have it. Okay, so I think that's all of the questions we've had so far for online reviews. In the description, we'll be linking to a page where you can submit any questions that you may have, and then we can cover in this podcast. We're happy to. But for now, thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.